Cool. Hi guys, my name's Rob. I'm from Scannable, and Kale and Nick have asked me to come on today for your lunch and learn to walk you through the kind of stuff that Scannable is building specifically for the tree care market. So a little background on me before I get into it is I was the product manager at DMM from 2014 to 2020 when I moved back to New Zealand from the UK, and during that time worked on and invented the world's first RFID tag carabiner, which was the first carabiner that you could scan digitally rather than having to read a serial number. And really off the back of that and taking feedback from all the customers that we sold that into, we've built what we think is the next step in digitizing the safety processes and the management and ownership of climbing gear and PPE. And I'm going to walk you through kind of what that looks like and why it's relevant to you, whether you're a sole trader, whether you're a contract climber, an employee of a small company, or whether you work for some of the big groups like Davey and Aspen. So our ambition here with Scannable is to streamline safety. And that means that we want to get rid of the paperwork, we want to get rid of the admin, and we want to support you to know everything that you need to know about your equipment, whether that's how old it is, when you bought it, when you last inspected it, whatever it is, it might be relevant to you. I'm very well aware that there's a range of appetite and kind of need for contract climbers and arborists in the US particularly to record your inspections. All manufacturers say that you should, so if you're trying to stick to what the manufacturers say, then absolutely you need to be recording your inspections. The reality is most of the time today that doesn't happen because it's just too painful to do so. But even if you're not necessarily looking to record your inspections because nobody's asking you for the evidence of those inspections, then we still see a whole lot of value just in you knowing what you own, when you bought it, and how old it is. So the reason that we're building Scannable is that equipment management today is too hard, it's too slow, and it doesn't get done because everybody is relying on serial numbers that are laser etched or printed onto products. They're often impossible to read after your equipment goes into use after 6 months or something like that. And also, even just when you buy a new length of rope, the next time you're looking at that, I'd encourage you to have a check and see whether you can determine what the date of manufacture is for that piece of cordage, what the lifespan is for that cordage, and how easy it is for you to work that out and to record that. Because I've certainly been doing that a lot in the US in the last 3 or 4 months with a couple of our customers as I come over and help install Scannable with different organizations. And it's still incredibly painful for you guys to be able to work out how old your textile products are, which is an important thing. So yeah, those things are really hard. And what does that cost you? Do you know what you own? Do you have a clean list of equipment? If your truck gets jacked and you lose everything and you have to file an insurance claim, do you know what you own? If you're running a business, do you know that your employees have safe working equipment? Having visibility of that is almost impossible at the moment. And if you're running policies within an organization, are they being followed? It's very hard for you to know. So the point of Scannable and the 3 kind of core things that we are working on that we think we'd like you to remember are that Scannable has built apps that work on your phone and on your laptop, on the browser. We also have a huge equipment database with over 25,000 items now and over 275 manufacturers in that database, which means that all of the equipment that you are buying is probably already in the system, and it means that you don't have to do any of the manual data entry for the images and the PDFs and even the serial numbers and dates of manufacture. We can automate a lot of that now. And we've also built tags that go onto your equipment. These are optional. We're really not here just to try and sell you tags, and we know that they're not necessarily an appropriate solution for every piece of equipment or for every climber. So they're really there just for you to add if you see fit. But a lot of our customers are using Scannable without those NFC tags as well. Anybody can use Scannable for free. We're really proud of that. You can sign up for Scannable today and download the app and add an unlimited amount of equipment for free, but you can't necessarily manage that equipment across more than one team person. So it's great if you're an individual, or it's great if you only need to manage a small amount of equipment across a couple of people and you don't really need everyone to sign into their own app to see that same equipment. But if you want to manage equipment across multiple people and you want to have efficiency gains, then we're onboarding a lot of people from plate safety, whether that's tree care and arboriculture or rope access and rigging and rescue. There's a lot of people coming onto our Scannable Pro platform right now, which we actually launched at the beginning of this month. So what can you do for free? You can download our app and create a very clean list of equipment. Again, like I say, no manual data entry to do that. You can use our app to connect our NFC tags to each item. And you can also use the app to scan the two-dimensional codes that you might have seen on your equipment as well. Now, Scannable actually works with manufacturers to embed the same technology into the products at manufacture as well. So you can use our free app to scan new equipment coming to market from brands like Notch. The Tree Austria harness already has an NFC tag built into it. So if any of you are running a Tree Austria harness, whether that's one that you've purchased or whether it's one that you've been given at work, there is a tag built into this already that you can scan with your phone in order to perform an inspection. Some of you might recognize the Pixel data matrix. That is this laser etching here. That's actually the serial number for this carabiner, and almost everyone's seen it, but they don't know what to do with it, and our app scans these beautifully. Lots of brands now have these, so all of the art products have a data matrix on them that you can use for the serial number. Taz and Tofferberger as well are now putting the data matrix barcodes on all of their care labels. So you have to peel that pad off the inside of the harness to reveal the serialized label, and you'll typically see these codes from harnesses produced certainly over the last 12 months, potentially a little bit longer. So that means that you can actually use the Scannable app for free with these products without adding any NFC tags in order to leverage the benefit of scanning. Equally, you'll start to see equipment coming to the market from Rope Logic and laser etching products from Notch as well that you can scan. The benefit of scanning the equipment is that you can identify it quickly, and then you can perform and record your inspections super easy using the app. the benefit of upgrading to Scannable Pro if you work for or if you own a medium to large equipment or a company is that you can add unlimited team members to the same account, which means you can then assign them gear. You can then group the equipment into kit bags and really manage it in more modules. You can track the movement of your equipment between different locations and clients, set up alert frequencies so that you could have a 6-monthly thorough inspection alert on all of your equipment, and then you could have a weekly reminder to have a rope bridge inspection for your harnesses. And Scannable Pro also gives you the ability to process your equipment in bulk so that you're able to scan 50 bits of equipment and move it, assign it, or inspect it all at the same time. And really, if you're having to evidence your compliance to people like OSHA, which isn't something that they're necessarily asking for on a frequent basis in the US, but if you work in the UK, then you are very regularly asked to evidence your inspections and your compliance with clients or with the health and safety executive in the UK. So just a couple of close-up images of what it looks like at the moment. If you were to buy the tags, this is the I-beam tag. Every manufacturer that I've spoken to, and I've spoken to all of the key ones, Petzl, DMM, Edelred, Teufelsberger, and a lot more as well. I have no problem with epoxy resin glue on the carabiners. There's absolutely no problem or detriment to the metal. We don't recommend using this on a carabiner that's been run with a zigzag, because you won't get the H frame or the I-beam frame through the slot on the device. But we haven't, this is actually the Generation 1 tag, and the Generation 2 tag is coming out very soon, and that's even lower profile and probably able to be glued, for example, in the base of the carabiner here, if you're going to run it with a zigzag. We have our on metal stickers. These are self-adhesive, they don't need any glue. They stick like shit to a blanket, and they're really small and durable, so you can put those on just about any device and they work really well with the phone. There's a nice big antenna in there. Some people are using these on carabiners as well. It's not our favorite option, and for the arbor industry we certainly don't recommend it, but for some rope access companies that's an option. Our jackable tags goes just about anywhere. We see a lot of people using these on tree motion harnesses. They do fit really nicely through inch-wide webbing, which you get on the leg loops or the rear loop, top loop of the harness and saddle. So you can clip it into there. You can put it on open slings, anchor points, all sorts of different places, and it's super durable. So yeah, in the rope access world, we see that being used a lot on anchor points as well. We've got our helmet stickers, and we're kicking off a bit of a promotion with TreeStuff.com. Anyone on their mailing list will be getting one of these in their hand within the year, and you can have a play with that. We have rope labels. That's the one with our scannable name on it, so that's got the NFC built into it. And we also work with retailers who are cutting and splicing rope, and they're using our printers and they're labeling the ropes with our NFC label. And what's really cool about that is that rather than just having to manually read the information and trying to record it, you can now just simply tap your phone against any piece of rope and reference who spliced it, what the date of manufacture was on the cordage, how long the lifespan is, whether it's got a reduced lifespan because it's, for example, a dynamic prosec rather than just a nylon or polyester climbing line. And for anyone that wants to manage their equipment with a laptop, you can actually use one of our USB readers as well. So that's the sort of ecosystem that we've built. And I'm just going to grab my phone and share it on the screen so that you guys can see some of the functionality of the app. But yeah, feel free to go ahead. That doesn't seem to be working. I might just try another option. Okay, what I'm going to do is we actually have the Scannable app installed on the computer here. So it's exactly the same as it is on the phone. I just can't show you any NFC functionality. So you can see here, I have to jump across to our demo account, Wanaka Tree Care. So you can have access to different accounts if you're an employee of different organizations. You can see on the app here that this is equipment that has been assigned to me. It's my inventory. And I can also see all inventory for the company that I work for over here. And if I go back to the home screen and grab my sample equipment here, I don't know whether this will work. Yeah, so it's not scanning on the laptop screen. I've never actually done that one. But you can basically use the NFC, which isn't supported on my laptop, or the camera to scan gear. If you want to add new equipment, you can search by name. This is an example of the type of information that we've already got in the database here from different manufacturers. So you can see this is a pencil carabiner, and I can add that to my inventory. I can assign it to the company inventory or to all inventory, or to my inventory, sorry. And then enter the serial number. It's at this point that you can then use the camera to scan those serial numbers and enter the date of manufacture and date of first use. And equally, if you are adding a, let's call it a Sequoia my spelling is terrible, and that's a good example of not having to have perfect spelling. Our search engine can pull up the right product. If you're running a Sequoia harness like this, you can see here that it has a subcomponent of the rope bridge. So you can add this to your system, add it to your inventory, scan the serial number of the Sequoia info card on the harness, add that into the system, and then you can jump into the rope bridge here and add the serial number for the rope bridge. And pets will actually have a serial number on every length of rope. And I believe Notch have that on their Sentinel harness as well. Teufelberger don't have serial numbers on every rope bridge. Another example is if you're adding a climbing system like a CE climb or a Pexel Grion. We've set these things up as assemblies so that all of the subcomponents are here. And that means that when you're adding this to your system, you can click add to inventory. There's no serial number or batch number for the whole system because each component has its own. So you can just use, for example, the date of first use. Let's go July 1st. And now I can jump in here, open the rope, and grab the serial number or the batch number for the rope. And do the same for the Prusik, for example. And if I want to manually enter the serial number for all the carabiners as well, then you can do that. And that way, for example, you can keep track of all the different ages of the textile products. You can know that if you've got a system that has a weak link, like a Dyneema Prusik, rather then that textile product only has a 2-year lifespan rather than a 10-year lifespan, and so you know how to replace that as well. Cool. Well, that is 25 minutes of how Scannable works and how it can be used by everyone from individuals all the way up to big national companies across the US that we're currently talking to at the moment. So yeah, if anyone has any questions, let me know, Kale. Otherwise, that's me. Cool. Yep. Nope, that's me. Thanks very much for having me.